Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 15th to the 21st of September 2014. As we head towards the autumn equinox, it's a time of rebalancing and letting go of what we don't want to take forwards, but very much with gratitude. It's a harvest time, so we've harvested a lot this year, and to just take some time out to enjoy what you've achieved, to enjoy what you've received, and not push forwards too much. And this is especially true because we're about to enter into another Mercury retrograde. So Mercury will go into Scorpio and then retrograde in the early degrees back into Libra, and then turn direct by the end of October and complete the cycle by about the 10th of November. So we've got from now till the 10th of November to follow this transit. So the way that we work with Mercury is when Mercury moves forward on the first leg of the journey, we have things brought to awareness. So keep your eyes open all the way through to the 5th of October, whatever comes up now, and this is the sign of Libra, so it will be to do with balance, relationships, creativity. You may even notice some passive-aggressive behaviour patterns come up because Libra can be quite passive and repress its opposite Aries aggressiveness inside, and that can bring that out at certain times. So between now and the beginning of October, we are travelling with Mercury through Libra and looking at that rebalancing work. Like I say, at the time of the autumn equinox, and equinox is equal night, so it's all about that balance of night and day, the inner and the outer, the higher and the lower, the masculine and the feminine. So this week is really calling us to seek that balance and to place ourselves firmly in the centre and the higher centre of ourselves, to observe what's uncalibrated, what's wobbly, and to just see what comes up. Because by the time we get to October, we'll be in the retrograde phase. Now this means that things can come up from the past, things can change direction, things that you thought were going one way can seem to turn around and go another way. So this will be in Scorpio and Libra, like I say, so we might be returning to relationships from the past, we might be returning to creativity, we might be returning to harmonics that we thought were long gone. So that will be an interesting one that we'll talk about in the weeks to come. And then by the time we get to the end of October, everything turns direct again. So we have the first phase, which is raising awareness, the retrograde phase, which is going back and making those adjustments, and then the direct phase, we should be older and wiser, we should get the point of it. So that's coming in at the end of October and into November. But the whole thing begins now, so I wanted to mention that so that you can actually travel and journey with Mercury. So maybe even keep a diary, just what comes up in the next couple of weeks, because that won't then just disappear into the mists of the past. It will actually be there for revision. So the whole week is kind of flavoured by this balancing of the mind, finding flow, creating from a place of heart intention, letting the mind take a back seat and the heart come forwards, because that's the real navigation. When we're trying to make things happen mentally, that's when our Mercury retrograde can be quite difficult, because things won't go according to your plan. But if your heart is well centred and you know kind of roughly where you want to go and what means something to you, then that will be the steer through the choppy waters. So lots of energy around this week, lots of letting go of what has served us, limited thoughts, just allowing some space to create better, but not actually activating the creation process, just recentering, letting go of any limitations. So Mercury retrograde phases are really good for us to actually see what our mind is doing, especially by Friday. So have a look at what your thoughts are. What's the story that's going on? And the ideas of reality that we have, are they even real? There's so many preconceived ideas that are given to us, like life has to be a struggle or the illusion of lack. And we embrace those and we kind of go out and fight from a survival basis. But that's not actually true. So this is going to be a great opportunity to become sovereign to our minds, to rebalance, and to at least have thoughts and ideas that are harmonic to us, rather than just the ones that have been handed down to us. Now we come to the weekend and we're into the autumn equinox. So from the 21st to the 24th of September, we hold our breath, we create that room, to just balance, to just see what's out of kilter, to realise that we're going into the dark months of the year, and to take some time out just to feel into the space. So it's a very, very sacred time, the gratitude for the harvest, for what we've received, and then once we go out of the autumn equinox and into the winter months, those seeds that we're sowing nestle under the ground to come up in the spring. So it's a deep inwards journey as the sun goes into Libra next week and we go into the darker half of the year. So it's very intuitive, very gentle, very rebalancing kind of a week, with that Mercury in Libra retrograde and going into the equinox. Don't worry if everything feels a bit spacey, or if there's plenty of time for dreaming and imagination. Doesn't matter that that's not practical, because it's actually through our imagination that we break those boundaries and create a different world. So take some time out this week, dream big, listen to your intuition, but especially watch your mind, because it will be showing you what you're thinking and therefore what you're perceiving as real. And if you don't like it, this is the way to change it. So those are the horoscopes for this week, and I'll see you next week. I've created an online astrology course, and we're up and running with module 1 now, so it's a really exciting course. You can take your own time. There's 13 modules which you can do between 1 and 3 years duration, and even if you just do module 1, that's going to recalibrate you to the essence of astrology, because module 1 concentrates on the sun and the zodiac. So I've created this course so that you can work at your own pace but have email contact with me for questions. And there's video, there's visuals, and there's practical exercises to be able to apply. So intuitive astrology is about us living with astrology and observing it for ourselves. And at this back to school time, I think it's quite exciting to have a new course of study to engage with the cycles of time. But you can start this whenever you want, or like I say, if you're already an astrologer but you have areas of weakness, then you can just pick the modules that you might want to brush up on. So you can follow the whole course or just pick modules to suit you. Next month we'll be looking at the lunar cycles, so that will be a really good one for anybody that works in the well-being arena. And again, that can be a standalone module. So if you're interested in learning any of these modules or signing up to the whole course, then please do contact me, zoehines7@gmail.com.